I would never say I'm self-made, I need a lot of help. Pray I never let the wealth change the way I see myself. I got love all around me, but sometimes I forget. Made a promise to my childhood self, we'll never quit. Yeah, I know I go too far sometimes. I know I go too far sometimes. But let me bring it back home for you. I'ma bring it back home for you, baby. So let me bring it back. I got thoughts and dreams and lots of things that might not make no sense to you. I keep my mouth shut and do the work before I introduce the ideas on my heart and on my spirit, things I care about. Protect them with my life, just like my family. I ain't scared of doubt. Just know what I've been doing gonna work or lead to something better. If I mark you off my list right now, to me you gone forever. Maybe I was put here on this earth to help you in some way, so now my silence works as your protection. See how quick it changed? That's life. The only thing you can't predict is everything. I thought I would never sing, jumping out a set of swings, trying to fly, hand-me-down tees, turn to sets of wings, eating lemon pepper all summer, trying to catch a dream. We've been who we always been, just growing to form. There's beauty inside destruction and there's joy in the storm. Still the same kid in marching band playing a horn. We've been here for a reason since the day we was born. I know I go too far sometimes. I know I go too far sometimes. But let me bring it back home for you. I'ma bring it back home for you, baby. So let me bring it back home for you.
Hey everyone, what's going on? This is Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Happy Monday, I believe it is, February 24th. So yeah, man, we're excited to go ahead and kick off episode number 2, season 1, episode number 2, before I get reprimanded by my friend over there. But yeah, welcome to the show. I'm Mr. Riley, your host, on the NCS Best in the West podcast. So we have a wonderful, wonderful show in store for you tonight. And so just let me know real quick, let me know if you are or have subscribed to our YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel where we're going to continue to push out content, and hopefully you are already a member of this particular group, the NCS group. And so just happy to be here. So happy to produce some content to get everyone caught up and involved in, in what we used to do at NCS. And so just paying homage and just paying some respect to the wonderful institution of Normandy Christian School that we all love. And so tonight, without further ado, we have a wonderful, wonderful guest. We have a businessman. We have a man of the cloth. That's right. And so just the down home, seems like a, real nice dude. I met him a couple of moments ago. So as we were setting up over here in the studio. So, and then I also have the president, El Presidente of the NCS Alumni Association in the house as well. So, but he's not live. He's just here making sure I'm pushing the right buttons and asking all the right questions. But without further ado, we're going to bring in our guest for this evening. His name is Reginald Harris, Reggie for short. So let's go ahead and welcome Mr. Harris to the podcast. What's going on, sir?
You doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight, man.
Oh, thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely, absolutely. So just, tell the viewers, tell the folks who are watching just a little bit about yourself, who you are, and we'll just start off from right there, Reggie.
Well, basically, I'm a South Central kid. Grew up on 78th and Normandy in the city of Los Angeles, and went to Normandy Christian School 2 years, 1995 and 1996, class of 06. Shout out to Miss Jackson. And from there, I went to St. Bernadette Junior High. And from there, I went to Crenshaw High, graduated from there. And from there, I went to Florida Tech University.
Okay. All right, so let's stop because you kind of just hopped in all the way at 5th and 6th grade, man. Where did you go? I mean, I'm sure you went somewhere before you hopped into 5th grade, unless you just came out the womb and was like, hey, all right, I'm gonna take my talents to Normandy to NCS, man. Where did you go prior to Normandy?
So prior to Normandy, kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade, I went to GAR Learning Institution, which is right around the corner from Normandy.
Okay.
It's right there on it's on Vermont and Gage.
Okay.
And my 3rd and 4th grade year, I went to St. Michael's.
Okay.
That's on Vermont, Manchester. And then my 5th and my 6th grade year, I went to Normandy.
Okay, cool. So I remember GAR. So when I was growing up as a kid, one of my best friends lived right around the corner. He lived on 64th, but he lived closer to the library. And so I would always go to the library. And so, and this was probably, before it was a school, that place was actually a place where they fixed on cars, a mechanic shop for cars.
Okay.
Before they fixed it up and turned it into the school that you went to. So that just a fun fact that I thought, I've been living in the hood, in the neighborhood for a while.
Yes.
And I remember passing that place all the time. So, okay, cool. So you went to GAR and went some other places before you got to Normandy. Now, let me ask you, how did you end up at Normandy? Now, I think you told us before a little bit. Just go ahead and tell the viewers, how did you end up attending Normandy Christian School?
So how I ended up attending Normandy, my mother wanted something different from me. She felt like that I was just too advanced for St. Michael's. So a lady, our across the street neighbor, Miss Flossie, she had a grandson named Rashad, who actually attended Normandy Christian. And my mom asked her about Normandy, and Flossie basically gave her the curriculum and things that Normandy was doing. And my mom thought it would be a good fit. So my 5th grade year, I started attending Normandy Christian under Miss Henderson.
Okay, I believe Miss Henderson, her first name was Wanda Henderson.
Yes, Wanda Henderson.
Got you. Now
Yes,
so, I left there in, gosh darn it, 1980. So I was long.
1980. Okay, I wasn't even born yet.
Wow. Okay. So, but I still kept in touch because Normandy was definitely affiliated with the church that I attend. I used to attend right there at Normandy Church of Christ, and so I knew of the name. I don't know her personally, but I believe her and her husband were members at a neighboring church, and so. And I think even when you mentioned Miss Jackson was your teacher?
Yes.
Okay, so I knew of Miss Jackson, but I didn't know her because, I'm gone. I left there, went to the Valley for middle school, and then went out to high school, for my formative years and high school and all that kind of good stuff. Now, let me ask you, because you said, your mom thought you were all that in a bag of chips. Were you all of that in a bag of chips? I mean, were you educationally speaking?
You want to know something?
Go ahead, tell us.
And I'm being real transparent right now.
Okay.
Normandy Christian School, and I'm not biased or anything. It's just I attended schools. I learned the most, and this is even including high school. I learned the most academically at Normandy Christian School. I mean, I don't know how the curriculum was back when you were going there, but man, we had to learn the whole Martin Luther King speech.
Okay.
And if we didn't learn it, guess what? It's no recess time.
Man.
It's nothing.
Man.
We had to learn Bible verses weekly.
Okay.
And along with poem, we had poems to learn, man. You know what I mean? Like, and it just really sharpened up our memory. And it was actually a challenge when I went to start attending Normandy. It challenged me. You know what I mean? And it just equipped me for the other schools because after graduating from Normandy, all the other schools was just a piece of cake, honestly.
Okay.
Even high school.
Okay. So check this out. I'm gonna challenge you right now.
Uh-oh.
Let's see if you're up for the challenge.
Okay.
Okay, Reginald, are you able to recite any poem?
Any poem.
Any poem that you learned at NCS.
Any poem that I learned at NCS.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't, I mean, because you said it was a great school for you,
Yes.
so I just figured I'd ask you if you remember. Just seeing if you know, can go back that far.
I can give you this. I hope I say it the right way.
Okay.
I have a dream that one day my sons and daughters will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I can give you that much.
Okay. Hey, you know what? But see, you could be cheating, Reginald. I don't know. We all should know that.
Yeah.
I'm an elementary school teacher, right? And so, we're going through Black History Month, and I'm like, okay, who is someone you know? Who is someone? Man, look, man, everybody knows Dr. King from pre-K all the way up to 5th grade. I'm like, yeah, Dr. King is great, but let's learn somebody else. So we all should know that little part right there, even if you stumble on it. But no, you did it good. You did a good job, Reggie.
Right. Thank you.
Props out to you. Okay, so you're saying that Normandy really prepared you. This is what I'm hearing. So I'm hearing that Normandy, the institution, really prepared you not only for 5th and 6th grade, because that's where you were, but it was the best educational experience for you during your formative years.
Second to none. I mean, they equipped me for life. I felt like the teachers cared about the students. And we talking about in the mid-'90s, so, we were still getting SWATs. You know what I mean? So Ms. Rose, all those teachers, man.
Okay.
The 4th grade teacher, Ms. Rose.
Yeah.
Loved her. It was just, Normandy Christian was like family.
Okay.
And like I told you guys before we came on air, it was family, and it was the best school that I ever attended. That's including high school, college, middle school. I love Normandy Christian.
That's what's up, man. Let's give. You know what? I just feel like just clicking the air horn just because. Let me see. Let me see if it's gonna work. Is it gonna work for me? Nah, it ain't working for me. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Man,
I know what you're doing.
Yeah. As I'm trying to trigger it over here, but it's not happening. But it's all good. Shout out to NCS, man, and just the impact that it had on your life. Okay. So then from you said you went to St. Bernadette. Okay, and then you went to Crenshaw. What was the transition like from going from a private school and going over to a public school like Crenshaw?
It was just being in private school, then going to a public school in general was kind of like, it was a transition. You know what I mean? You have kids that's cursing now. You know what I mean? You wouldn't dare curse at Normandy. Well, you bend over and touch your toes and get them 5 swats so quick. You know what I mean? But now you have kids that's so opinionated, and I just didn't really feel like, and I don't want to bash the public school system, but it just didn't feel like Normandy.
Got you.
It just didn't feel like Normandy. Like I said, at Normandy, the teachers they really took pride in you learning. They would stay after school. They would tutor, and this was for free. I remember I was having trouble. Miss Jackson would tutor me for free. My mother didn't even have to pay extra. You know what I mean? But what teacher would do that? So. But far as going to Crenshaw though, I was a gifted magnet. So my mom was an educator, rest her soul, and so was my grandmother. So they didn't let me take the easy way out.
Got you. So you kind of had your head up a little bit before you went to any of your schools, really, because you come from a family of educators.
Yes,
you're gonna do what you're supposed to.
Absolutely.
You're not gonna walk in class and not be educated, right?
No, not at all.
Right? You're gonna know the A, B's, and C's, and X, Y, Z's, and everything else in between, because
you're absolutely right.
Your family, they're educators. They want you to uphold a certain standard. So you were already, standing up, standing on business, as kids say now, before you even left to get into your private school or even into to high school. There was a certain expectation, right?
Absolutely, it was.
And I'm sure you lived up to it. And but I kind of want to circle back just a little bit.
Okay.
Let's go back to NCS. Now, who was your principal when you were attending those 2 years?
My principal was the Honorable King Walker.
King Walker. Shout out to King Walker.
Yes,
Shout out
sir.
to King. Again, he wasn't there when I was there. I had some different principals, but he made sure during those years when he was there that NCS had what it needed to continue the education for the kid, promote education for the kids. So he
Absolutely.
was super dope educator. And just a whole bunch of wonderful things. And I think we were talking before, and we were, I think either you told us or maybe Darren told us that he's back living in Inglewood now. So shout out to Mr. King Walker, Principal Walker.
Yeah, I need that contact too. He said he actually wanted to hear from the old alumni students because he was a great principal. I remember when we have our PE. He would actually change out of his suits and put his athletic gear on and get out there and exercise with us, do push-ups, jumping jacks, everything, run laps.
Yeah. And
he was an older man then.
Yeah.
And he would get out there and do that stuff, man. So shout out to King Walker.
Absolutely. Being influential, taking off the suit. It was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and hang with these knuckleheads. I'm gonna take off the shirt and tie,
right?
And I'm gonna go ahead and put some sweats on, and we're gonna be about this business. You know what I'm saying? PE time, we're gonna have some fun, even if we didn't have grass. We gonna have fun.
We definitely was on the blacktop. Yes,
on the blacktop. Absolutely. Now, did you ever hurt yourself on the blacktop?
Man, I have so many scars on these legs from the blacktop, from kickball games and see, at Normandy, we didn't have a inside gymnasium. So when we played basketball and we had our basketball games, we would actually have our basketball games outside on the blacktop.
Yes.
We would have different schools, our rival schools come, and they would actually play us on our blacktop.
Got you.
Yeah, so, I got so many wounds from the blacktop.
No, memories, man. I mean, everyone, I think, we used to play, when I was there, we used to play with the tennis ball and throw it around the playground. And, folks got hurt. And, we still bounced up and, still continued to play. We'll send the person over to the nurse's office, heal them up. They'll come back in a couple of minutes. And sometimes they'll join back in. Sometimes they wouldn't. But
right.
That blacktop is legendary.
Absolutely it is.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's kind of stick around. And so you were there for 2 years. You said you had Miss Jackson for 1 year, and then who did you have for the second year?
So I had Miss Henderson my first year.
Okay, you did say that, Miss Henderson, and then Miss Jackson.
And then Miss Jackson my 6th grade year.
Got you. Okay,
Miss Jackson from Jackson, Mississippi.
Shout out to Jackson. Hey, check this out. Okay, so since we're here, what was your favorite activity at NCS? Something that you remember that made a lasting impact on, on your childhood as being a student at NCS?
What I used to like and what used to get me in the mood to learn is every morning going to devotion. All those songs, I can't even remember none of them now because I'm almost 40. But those songs,
wait, stop. Did you just say you're almost 40?
In 5 months, God's willing.
Man, you make you sound like, oh man, you make it sound like you 85 years old. All them songs, I ain't remembered it. Man, you just 39. Stop it. But go ahead, continue.
Our devotion, man, especially, how it would be the different classes were hosted every week.
Yeah.
And I would love when it was our turn to host, and I could pick a song that I like. Well, I used to like the song Father Abraham. Father Abraham had many sons.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that song.
Man, listen, sometimes the kids still sing that song. We haven't sung that song in quite some time over here at the Lounge Room, but no, that's one of the favorites. And now they have all kind of movements and turning around and,
yes.
Doing somersaults and everything now. So it's a very active song. And yeah, that was probably one of my favorite songs to sing in chapel as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you talked about chapel. What was your hot dog special? So when I was there, we had hot dog day usually on Friday.
Okay.
Did you guys still have hot dog day?
We did have hot dog day, but what we could do, we could actually buy 25-cent Kool-Aids in the little white cup. Okay. We could do that.
25 cents a cup?
Yeah, 25 cents a cup.
And they were probably the small cups too.
Yeah,
so they were fleecing y'all.
Yeah.
They were fleecing the kids.
They were small because they didn't want to give us all that sugar. For sure, they were the small cups.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. So they kind of made some, that was a nice little fundraiser because, back in the day, you could buy Kool-Aid for like 10 cents a pack,
right?
15 cents. So if they charged y'all 25 cents, man, they were making a little something off
Absolutely,
y'all.
they were.
That's jacked up. That's jacked up, NCS. I was gonna call out a couple of people, but I'm not gonna do that. I'll keep it 100, and we're just gonna move on. Yeah, okay. So having Kool-Aid on Fridays, okay, and then chapel. Any other time that you remember that had a lasting impact on you as a student at NCS?
So I was a student athlete. I like the fact that I played sports.
Okay.
Like I would love Fridays. I was getting ready, getting on the bus, going to the different schools, playing football and basketball. I enjoyed that. The coach at the time in 95, 96, his name was Michael Grimble.
Okay.
And he's also a Crenshaw High alumni as well.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to him. And, the coaches back in the day, they taught all sports. You know what I mean? So he taught us football and basketball.
Okay.
Yeah, so
okay,
that's memorable. And another memorable day will actually be the Color Day.
Okay.
When all the old alumni, teachers, students would come back, and it looked like a sea of red.
Okay.
That was very, very memorable.
Red and white, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just in the cut, just be like, look,
yes.
we repping.
Absolutely, we were repping for sure.
I'm trying to think if when I was there, we didn't have to wear uniforms. I think uniforms were kind of introduced a little bit later on.
Okay.
So we didn't have a whole bunch of colored days that I remember, but we had special days where, they would have maybe celebrities come out and, do something or whatever. Those are some, big times, but no, and you're not the only one, looking at some of the yearbooks, at the Color Day pictures, it looks like you guys had a great time doing whatever it is you did during Color Day. But I'm sure, just, seeing that, being in this, a sea of red and white, I'm sure that was awesome. Just the community that it brought together and the unity that it brought together, in terms of Color Day. So that's super, super awesome, man.
And another fun fact about being in 95, 96, I actually was in a class with Robert Pitt's grandson.
Okay.
So
Robert Pitts.
That's a fun fact.
Robert Pitts. Who's Robert Pitts?
Robert Pitts, I believe he was like the originator of the school.
Oh, you talking about Carol Pitts.
Carol Pitts, but Robert Pitts was her husband, correct?
Probably so. I gotta, Darren, he can be over there fact checking. Go ahead and do some fact checking for us, bruh.
Yeah.
And okay.
Yeah, Robert Pitts for sure.
All right. Okay.
Oh, I'm bringing some trivia here, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's the trivia buff. Anything about NCS, he'll break it down. I'm sure he'll probably send me a text message confirming or giving me the actual name of the person that you might be talking about. But
I do remember Carol Pitts as well. She was the wife, yes.
Absolutely. And fun fact here, the wife of Carol Pitts, Bernice Pitts, she's still around. She's in her 90s.
Okay.
She's spry. She does her thing. She's so spry that she will sing the ABCs backwards.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I can't even say the ABCs backwards.
Man.
I'm not even going to try.
No. Now, I'm sure she's rehearsed it and sung it so many times, but just even thinking about it right now, it just hurts my brain.
Right.
Because she sings it in, the syncopation is just like she's singing ABC, the ABC song, but she's just doing, ZYX. Da, 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 da.
That's all I know is the first three.
That's it.
I'm not gonna go beyond that.
You would be both, man. Okay, so let's fast forward because we definitely want to talk about, it seems like NCS had a heavy influence on your upbringing. You said it was one of the best educational experiences that you've ever had after attending, other private schools and even the public school system. So hats off to NCS. And, let's kind of talk about you as a young man. Now, you're over at Crenshaw, and you talked about, just the lack of, I'm trying to be nice. Just the lack of self-control by some of the students because students were popping off at the mouth, and
Absolutely.
You're coming back from a kind of private, and I can speak to it, because I was in the same situation. You're kind of in a reserved kind of background. Now you go to public schools, like, oh man, is this what goes down? How did you get through? How did you make it through? Those times, despite the actions of the other students, the other peers at your schools?
Just being well grounded, coming from a Christian family. I never strayed away from my morals that I learned, but man, and I would be that student if a student was being disrespectful to a teacher, I would speak up, man. Have some type of respect because in all actuality, I'm here to learn. And if you disrupting the class, I can't learn.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because I was on a mission, and I'm not coming here to waste my time.
Right.
Not at all.
Right.
Now I've been a kid too. I'm not gonna act like I'm a goody two shoes, but there's a time and a place for everything.
Sure.
So.
No, that's key. That's key. You got to know. My wife always tells. I used to tell my children, and even now sometimes, remember whose you are.
Absolutely.
And it's a double connotation. Double.
Because they're representative of you guys, even when you're not around.
Absolutely, they represent us, and then also, rearing my children in a faith-based household. Remember whose you are up there. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, you can't be acting all kind of ways. You can't be wilding out. But sometimes, my kids did wild out.
Yeah. That's why I sidebar said I was still a kid.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely. Kids, who's that? Chuck E. Cheese said kids, or where kids can be a kid.
That was Chuck E. Cheese. Yes.
Kids will be kids, and so sometimes you just got to kind of get them back on the right path. So just glad that you were able to maintain your morals. And being respectful and wanting to learn everything that you could given that situation that you were in. So after high school, you transition over to some school in college in Florida, right?
Yes.
Okay, what was the name of your school?
Florida Tech University.
Okay, so why Florida Tech University? You got all these wonderful schools out here on the West Coast, Midwest. Why Florida? Why going way over there to pursue some kind of special education?
Because Florida Tech University actually gave me the chance.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I was getting ready to transition, leaving high school, like USC.
Yeah.
They were at the peak. That's when they had Pete Carroll, and they was running off all those championships because this was I was, like I told you, I was a student athlete.
Yeah.
So, they wanted you. I mean, I felt like I was top tier, but, you had the Reggie Bushes, the Lindell Whites, Carlson Palmer, Matt Liner, you know what I mean? So, they wouldn't give me opportunity. But Coach Berger, you know what I mean? After attending Southwest College for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, he gave me opportunity.
Okay. So then let me guess. If I'm a guessing man, I'm gonna guess you played football.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what position did you play?
So let me ask you this: what position do you think I played? Looking at me,
man,
I think I don't think you would get it right. But,
Okay. Check this out.
Okay.
Because I know you're 39.
Okay. Okay.
I think you were. a tight end.
Okay. You're right. So
Oh.
I actually played fullback,
Okay.
tight end,
Okay.
middle linebacker, and safety.
Okay. You well-rounded.
Yeah.
All right. Now, did you play football at Crenshaw?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Because I know at one point, Crenshaw was like a football school.
Yes.
Did any of your classmates from Crenshaw make it to the next level and then make it to the level after that? So what I'm talking about, college and then NFL.
Yes. So one of my favorite teammates, Brandon Mebane,
Okay.
he actually went to Cal, and he went to he actually played for the Seattle Seahawks
Absolutely.
under Pete Carroll, and he actually won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Another one of my teammates, Lee Webb,
Okay.
he actually went to USC and won about 2 or 3 national championships.
Okay.
Terrence Whitehead,
Okay.
he actually played for the Oregon Ducks.
Okay.
And he played a little stint for like the Cincinnati Bengals,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken. Wow, who else? And then there were some after me. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with the Anthony Thomas Black Mamba.
Okay.
Yeah, he actually went to Oregon
Okay.
Ducks, and he played for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
Who else? It's just been so many, man. Crenshaw High has had so many, and I actually follow I follow the NCS alumni. I follow the Crenshaw alumni Facebook page, and I didn't know how many athletes came out of Crenshaw. I'm not just talking about football. I'm talking about basketball, because they're doing like a Black History thing.
Sure.
So it's so many athletes that actually came out of Crenshaw. And my coach, Coach Robert Garrett, is the winningest coach in Los Angeles now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're sidebar. They kind of going through a big change because now, you have a lot of kids. They have a lot of options now as it relates to athletics and, where they want to go. And, even if you want to think about it, like NIL for high school sports, even though I don't think any money is being passed, I mean, it might be, but, folks want to go to where they're going to get seen and, they're going to be seen by recruiters and things of that nature. They want to get the coaching as well.
Right.
So now, the thing that a lot of kids are doing in the inner city, they're going out to different schools, away from the neighborhood schools, so that they can receive the notoriety and all that kind of good stuff. So I know one student who used to play with my son at Palisades. He went to three high schools.
Wow.
But now he's a receiver at UCLA. So
okay.
I mean, if you got talent, you got talent. But sometimes you want to put yourself in a better position.
Absolutely.
So, unfortunately, you don't see a lot of kids staying, playing at the neighborhood schools. They're kind of going out because they have an opportunity to go, and it's just kind of unfortunate. So, but I'm glad that when you were there, you had those experiences with those teammates. And, hopefully it's somehow, some way, some of the folks can stay, true to the neighborhood and make some of those programs the best programs that they can with what they have.
Right. And it's so funny that you mentioned NIL. I wish that I was born in 2003, 2004. You actually have high school kids that's becoming millionaires now. But, it's really a blessing and a curse.
It is.
For the simple fact that, with this NIL, I'm for it because shout out to Charles and Ed O'Bannon. They're the reason why we have the NIL now, because
Absolutely.
they did the lawsuit. Well, how can you use me on a video game and I not get paid for it?
Right.
And they ran it into the ground, and shit, here we are. We had an NIL now, but I think it makes the athletes unhungry.
Yeah.
Because I mean, why do I have to go hard to make it to the professional level when I can make as much money as the professional level at 16, 17 years old with all these different endorsements and everything, Yeah. But shout out to it. I'm not hating on it. Everything's supposed to get better with time, but I just wish my mom would have had me in 2004 or something like that. I wish I wasn't an 80s baby.
I got you. Because after all, you're only 39.
Oh man! But you know what? I'm only 39, but those bones be saying 50 sometimes.
Trust me, I'm 56, and I know what you're going through.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wake up like, wait a minute, I just woke up. Why is this bone doing this? Let me just put a foot on the bed. You know what I'm saying?
As soon as you stand up and stretch, all you hear is crack, 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 crack.
Absolutely. Okay, so you played. So it sounds like you played 2 years at Florida International.
Yes.
Okay, so you played 2 years. Now, how was that experience for you? Did you reflect on anything did you have to reflect on anything that you learned at NCS to kind of help you go through, college as, a community college student and then as a D1 football player?
This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it again, and I'm not biased. NCS, they're the prototype. They set me up, even though it was 5th and 6th grade. But all that stuff that came afterwards academically, we were already doing that at NCS. When I went to Crenshaw, stuff that we were doing in math, we had been doing it. I was doing that in the 5th grade. Wow. And basically, I think they should change the name to Normandy Christian College Preparatory. Because that's, in my years when I came through there, that's what they were doing.
Absolutely.
They were setting you up, to be great.
Right. And so you took your greatness to the other middle school after NCS.
Yes.
You took it to Crenshaw. You took it to Southwest College, and then you took it to Florida International.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's such a marvelous testimony that you're giving right now, just about the impact that NCS had on your life. And I'm sure there's countless others who have had similar experiences, to be great, to already be, 3 or 4 steps ahead of, some of your colleagues or students in the other classes and other schools that you attended. So again, shout out to NCS and just
shout out to NCS.
Just putting the kids first and getting them ready for real world life and situations. Okay, so then after Florida International, and I think you told me briefly about you being, a man of the cloth. Now, how did that happen? Because I think you said you started preaching, or you preached your first sermon at 12 years old. How did that happen? Kind of walk us through that.
I preached my first trial sermon in 2012.
Okay.
In 2012. So how it happened is I've been in church all my life, literally, out the womb.
Yeah.
And ever since I exited out the womb, my uncle has been a pastor. So started off ushering, playing instruments.
That's how it starts.
I played organ and drums.
Okay.
And then just God elevated. I was a junior deacon, and then God just elevated me. I went to my uncle. I said, "You know what, Unc?" I said, "I think God is calling me to preach." And he said, "Reggie, go back and pray about it, though." That's what those old school pastors tell you, because they want to make sure.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, I tell you what, because my pastor, shout out to my Bishop D, right? He said, well, what I want you to do is I'm gonna have you teach Sunday school. So before I can even do my trial sermon, I had to teach Sunday school for a year.
Okay.
And that tactic is, you have to study a lot to be able to teach these kids, be able to exegete the text and everything. And once I did that, I had to go through some training with him. And then he allowed me to do my trial sermon. And I actually received my license right after I finished. And then he actually ordained me in 2018.
Okay.
I was ordained.
Now, what's your bishop's name?
My bishop's name is Dr. D.E. Wright, Delbert Earl Wright.
Okay. All right. Let's give him some love real quick. Check this out. I got it to work, you guys. Okay, there we go. Okay.
There it go. Shout out to the trigger.
We got it. We got it. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, shout out, man. Okay, so now you're taking, what you learned from the womb. You're taking it to, So how old were you? I think you said you were. Did you say 12 or 13 when you did your first sermon?
No, I was actually. Do the math. I was 27.
20. Okay. All right. 27. Okay. So further down the line, after you finished Florida International, you felt the tug, you felt the calling.
Yes.
To kind of step in that realm and deliver the word, be a messenger.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure that was majorly influenced by your parents, by your family, because you said you're ministering there, you're there with your uncle, so I'm sure he was a heavy influence on your life in terms of what you saw every day, what you aspired to be, and so I'm sure that was a major influence for you as you kind of grew up and continued your life after college.
Yes, it was my uncle. He was a major influence, but once again, NCS was a major influence as well, for the simple fact it was a Christian-based school. So, we had to learn Bible verses every week.
Yeah.
And recite them.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, if you didn't learn that Bible verse, or you didn't learn those different poems that we had in the back of those spelling books, you are not playing. Those teachers did not play. You're not playing recess, or you're not playing on the basketball or the football team. And when you're a child, sometimes you don't understand it, but it was just equipping you for the real world. And shout out to Normandy Christian, man. And I was fortunate enough to be in school before they took prayer out of school.
Yeah.
We were still able to pray. We would, like you said, we would go to chapel every morning. We were praying. And to me, chapel was like going to church every day, at school, because we're singing Christian songs, we're praying, you know what I mean? And I think, that's what keeps kids grounded.
Yeah.
And, when they took prayer out of school, out of the public school system, you see how the public school system is and the numbers and everything. But
absolutely.
Thank God I didn't have to, be under that.
Sure. No, that's super, super awesome, man. No, it was, again, shout out to NCS and just everything that they did to prepare the lives of the young people. Okay, so now, you're out of college, you're doing your thing, you kind of, now what did you do immediately after graduating? Did you kind of hang out in Florida for a little bit, or did you matriculate or migrate back to California and, start working with them in the ministry?
So what I did, I came back home, and I actually got a job with American Airlines.
Okay.
Yes, and I've been with American Airlines 18 years.
So you're still, to this day?
To this day.
Okay.
I am American Airlines Fleet Service Clerk.
Okay. So tell us what is that? What does that mean?
Okay, Fleet Service Clerk, we're the guys that do all the dirty work. We make sure everything is everything before you guys take off, before that plane is pushed off that gate. So we make sure your lavatories is clean.
Yeah.
We make sure your bags are on the aircraft.
Okay.
We make sure water's on the aircraft.
Gotcha.
We make sure food is on the aircraft.
Okay.
We make sure the plane is towed out safely, because airplanes have no reverse. So we tow the planes in and out. So we do all the thing. And as a crew chief, I have to do the weight and balance.
Okay.
So that plane is not taking off if that weight and balance is not correct.
Got you.
So, we have to load the plane. It's a specific way. We have to load the planes. We have a load plan that we have to abide by. And once we do all that, clear for takeoff.
Okay. So tell since we're here, because a lot of people fly.
Uh-huh.
We're flying, going here and there. Tell us, because you're talking about weight and balance and all this other kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
Let's unpeel what kind of goes on behind the scenes.
Okay.
Something that an ordinary flyer traveler would not know as it relates to what you guys do? So I know you said, you make sure that the planes are clean. We got that. You make sure the planes got water. Got that. What is something else that is interesting that someone who's a traveler might want to know about what you guys do to get us prepared to hop up in the air? Are there any secrets, any funny stories maybe that you've experienced as being, one of those guys that make sure, the plane is good to go? Any special stories, anecdotes that you can remember from your 18, you said 18 years, right?
Yes,
18 years.
So, funny story is the lavatories is just another word for restrooms.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have to service them, and that job is called a lav man. So back in the days on certain aircrafts, when we would open up the actual door and everything to the lavatory to service it, it used to have this thing, we used to call it a donut.
Okay.
And when you get trained on lavs, your lav trainer would tell you, give yourself 3 feet, three feet to be able to jump, just in case when you open that lavatory door, just in case there's some waste right there. And there's so many people, man, that don't go by that rule, and it's called we call it getting baptized.
Ooh.
Just imagine getting baptized by waste.
Waste.
It's not funny, but if you follow and abide by the rules, then you don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? So yeah, we do that. And then another thing that they probably don't know, or they probably do, is we transport dead bodies.
Whoa.
We transport dead bodies underneath the plane.
Yes.
Some people don't know that, because a dead body, once it's a corpse, is considered cargo.
Got you.
So, and it's a certain way that you have to load a dead body.
Okay.
The head has to be towards the nose.
Okay.
It can't be the other way, because in flying, all the embalming fluid will go to the face and then swell up. It happened before. So,
okay.
It's not a hard job, but it is a hard job.
Got you. You have to know what you're doing.
You have to know what you're doing. Absolutely.
Got you.
You have to abide by the rules. They train us. If you do what you're supposed to do, you'll be okay.
Okay. No, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. No, I appreciate you, sharing that information, because, we just travelers. We trying to get from point A to point B safely.
Now, what's another fun thing that we start doing, which is fun for me? We have a job duty that's called taxi tow.
Okay.
So basically, we're able to drive the airplanes.
Yes.
Down to the hangar.
Okay.
So it's so many of my coworkers that they're gonna see this, that that's videoing, because we're in a cockpit. You know what I mean? And we're actually controlling $1 million aircraft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By ourselves. You know what I mean? But it's a 6-month training, but still though, like, who would have thought? The closest thing to being a pilot that I'm gonna get to. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty fun and interesting.
Yeah. So you know how to kind of wheel all of those little cars and carts that we see loading up baggage and all this other stuff, and
absolutely,
like you said, pulling the plane away from the gate, or pulling it to the gate. You know how to drive all those vehicles?
Yes, I drive all those vehicles.
Okay, all right. What's the funnest thing you've done as it relates to your job?
See, I jumped the gun, because I answered that question prior. The funnest thing is being able to drive that plane to the hangar.
Yeah. Okay.
talking to the tower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, it's the closest thing that I'm gonna get to being a pilot. I don't plan on going to flight school, but you know, to be able to have to do all the controls and everything, and talking to air traffic control, and they tell you which alleyway to go down. You know what I mean? That's like really fun.
Okay, so give us a scenario. You know, we got you said American Airlines, right?
Yes, American
So we
Airlines.
got American Airlines 3025 coming in. You know, it just landed. What do you say to communicate to the tower and to the pilot as it relates to getting them to the gate to, you know, disembark all the passengers?
So then we're talking about an inbound flight?
Yeah, it can be inbound. Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm towing in a plane, I'll basically say ground a cockpit. The pilot said, "Go ahead, ground." I said, "We're all connected. Release brakes." Then the pilot will reply, "Brakes release." And I said, "Stand by. We're coming in." So when we're coming in, I'm actually towing the plane in. I say, "Ground the cockpit again." He said, "Go ahead, ground." I said, "We're at spot 2. Park and brake park." Then he goes back to me. He say, "Park and brake park." And then when he says park and brake is park, I'm able to release my equipment from the front landing nose gear.
Okay. Interesting. So then at that point, that's when he hits his little ding.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And everybody jumps up, even if you're way in the back of the plane.
Oh yeah, that's
jump up.
That's the worst. And you know, just being an employee, if I'm on a flight, I don't try to be rude, but I just tell other passengers, we can sit down because we're not going to. If we're in coach, we're not. They have to let all these people out before us. It's no reason for you to be standing up way back here. This is going to be a 20-minute process. I hate that, man. As soon as the plane tows into the gate, the person that's all the way back to the tail wing is standing up in the aisle. I'm like, wow. Where are you going?
Absolutely.
But right here.
Absolutely. But you know, I got a confession. Because I hate that. But
don't tell me you do that,
man. Listen.
Don't tell me you do that, Mr. Raleigh. No way,
Mr. Reggie. Mr. Reggie. When you get older, you know how you were talking about when your bones and you're waking up and all. Dude, sometimes it is so hard for me to stay seated during a flight. And then when I hear that ding, I need to stand my behind because my leg
stretch. You get a pass. You get a pass because I know what it feel like. So, just giving you like an insight on me. So, I fly for free. After 5 years, you fly for free.
Oh man!
But if all the time I can't get first class. So when I get coach, and if I can't get like a the seat that's right there by the wing because you get extra leg room, you know what I mean? So I understand. You be cramped up, and then it's just like this. When I check the flights and I know I can't get first class, I try to get a flight where I'm gonna have the whole row by myself, so I can really stretch my legs out, man. Because now that you're saying that, man, you got to get up and stretch them things out, man. You done been on a 3.5, 4 hour flight, cramped up with 2 people next to you.
So yes, I hate to admit it, I'm one of those, but man, my leg be giving me. And sometimes it can be either or sometimes it can be both. Or, if it's a short flight, it's not a big deal. But if it's like a 2 or 3 hour flight, man, look. And the wife, she books pretty nice flights. We don't have to worry about sitting too far in the back, not in first class, but, kind of like the premium, right up behind first.
Right, absolutely.
I got to stand up.
Got to stand up.
Because my leg it be screaming. It's like, stand up, dude. So, yes, I'm one of those, but I'm sorry. So if you see me ever on a flight, you guys, if you're watching, just know it ain't because I'm trying to get out. It's because my leg is killing me. My leg is killing me. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap up, man. So now, along with being a man of the cloth, I hear a word on the street is that you have a food truck, and so is that your side hustle? Because a lot of people have like a side hustle. Are you trying to make your side hustle your main hustle? What's kind of going on? Kind of tell us, how did you get into the food business?
So this is a very, very, very interesting story. So how I entered into the food truck business is because in 2021, my mother's just suddenly passed away from a brain aneurysm, a double brain aneurysm to be exact.
Wow.
And this was man, my mother was my everything. I'm the only child. I didn't have to share my mother with no other siblings.
Yeah.
And my mother loved me as well as I loved her. So I said, what can I do to turn something negative into a positive, a negative situation into a positive? So God spoke to me. He said, open up a food truck. You've been wanting to do this, and name it after your mother. So when God spoke to me to do that, I did that, and I named the truck Merlin's Old Fashioned Burgers.
Okay.
And my mother passed away January 2021. I had that truck open June 2021.
Okay.
So it only took me 6 months. I mapped out a plan and I just executed it and went forward.
Okay.
So that's how I entered into the food truck business. It's a sad story, but that's how.
That's how you take something, sad, and you turn it to something good,
Absolutely.
so it can bless others. And, that's kind of that is a way for you to cope and deal with, the whole situation. People deal with death in different ways. Some people act and react differently. So this was you're seeking inspiration, it sounds like, from your mom, because she's been such a pillar in your life. This is the way that you're going to honor her.
Right.
So, why not do something that's going to benefit not only me, but others as well, man. So, I think we did find a picture of one of your burgers on Instagram over here. I just want to show it real quick to the folks. And, I know you have your phone over there. Why don't you drop, there you go, right there. Let me see if I can add you on the screen with me real quick. So I'm going to do this in real time.
Okay.
Just so I can, where did everything go? Maybe I shouldn't. Let me go back. Hold on. Let me go back. See, I was trying to floss.
Okay.
I was trying to floss. See, I was trying to floss. Now I don't even see it over here on my screen. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it back. But no, tell us about, your burger truck. As I'm working on that, tell us a little bit about your burger truck. What plans do you have for? Do you plan to remain just a truck? Do you have aspirations to make it into a brick or mortar business? Kind of walk us through what you're thinking right now about your burger truck business.
Okay, so this is the bombshell that's coming live on NCS Best in the West podcast. I haven't even made this announcement on none of my social media platforms. So
we getting are we getting an exclusive?
Live and direct.
All right, let's go for it, my man.
So basically, when I was going to throw a big party. I'm still going to throw a big party.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, I've been in business since 2021. And, the main thing in entrepreneurship is to expand and get bigger if possible. So I said, for my 40th birthday, I want to launch a restaurant. I want to launch a restaurant and go forward with that, because just a little. Let me go back when we speaking about the food truck business and how I got into it. We have a family restaurant, and I'm pretty sure you ate there before because it's like a pillar in the city.
Oh,
it's called Fresh and Meaty Burgers.
Okay, I know where that is.
On Florence and 8th Avenue, and I've been working. I worked there when I wasn't even supposed to be working at the age of 10, and my mom ran it for about 30 years.
Man.
So that's where the bridge comes in to where, okay, your mother passed away, then you open up a burger truck because she was in the food industry as well. So my mom worked in the food industry for 30 years after she taught school. She would leave the school and then go to Fresh and Meaty Burgers.
Wow.
So I've been around this game all my life. You know, I done seen it all.
Okay.
I done did it all.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I'm not going to be cocky about it. When I opened up the food truck, I did face obstacles.
Yes.
Like I didn't know when you have a food truck that you have to keep the food truck in the commissary. That's an extra fee. Like $1,700 a month.
Okay, so back up. So for those folks who are lay folks like me, commissary, what do you mean?
Commissary. So the state of California requires you to keep your food truck in a sanitary setting.
Okay.
So I don't know if you see like on, what is that? Like Manchester, east of Manchester, where all the food trucks are like parked at.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to park your truck in a facility like that.
Okay.
Because that's just code.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you can't. So in other words, you can't just park it in front of your house and be like,
You cannot
all right,
park in front of your house. And,
Okay.
And they'll start citing you, giving you tickets and all kind of stuff.
got you. So at the end of the day, when you're finished selling burgers or fries or whatever, it's tacos or whatever, you have to take your food truck to a particular place, and it stays there overnight until you're ready to open up.
It stays there overnight till you come back in the morning. And I actually have a worker there that cleans the truck up and everything. So it's just like they keep it like sanitary, basically.
Okay. See, that's.
But
good
see, I didn't
information.
know that when I got into the game. I'm just like, I got this recipe. I'm gonna sell all these burgers and this and that. And it was like, you got another fee. You got to pay that other extra $1,700 a month on top of the rental of the truck.
Oh wow!
If you're leasing the truck as well. So,
Okay.
But business does well.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about what we're seeing on screen right now.
On screen?
Yeah, you can't see it. Oh man, it's the big burger that you have on your IG page.
Oh, I know. I just see NCS Best in the West.
Okay, all right, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, but no, it's on your Instagram page. So
Oh yeah, so I can tell you about my burgers.
yeah, go for it. Yeah, that's all I'm
so
asking.
what burger you want to know about? I have a.
Tell us about the one that you like the most.
the one that I like the most.
Yeah.
And I can't, even though I'm a big guy, I can't eat it all. But this is just one that I like everybody to try. It's called the Merlin's Ultimate Burger.
Okay. Tell
And
us about that.
That's 2 8-ounce patties,
Okay.
bacon, egg, hot link,
Okay.
and chili
Ooh.
with all the toppings.
Okay.
Mayo, mustard, relish, onions, pickles, lettuce, and tomatoes and cheese.
Is your burger truck parked outside?
And I can only eat. I can only cut it in half and eat half of it.
My God.
I cannot eat the whole entire burger.
Okay.
And I actually have a thing. If you can eat that whole burger,
Yeah.
like right in front of me within 20 minutes,
Yeah.
I'll give you the meal free.
Oh man. So you're gonna refund my money?
Yeah,
Oh man.
absolutely.
Because you got to buy it first before you.
Yeah, absolutely. No. If you try to challenge,
Yeah.
I'll let you stay there and eat. And if you do it, then you pay nothing.
Okay.
If you don't do it, it's $20.
Okay. Okay. That's that might be a deal worth taking.
Yeah,
That might be a deal worth taking.
it's a good burger. I also have it's another burger called a grandma burger.
Grandma Burger.
So that's a burger with bell pepper, onion, and eggs mixed inside the patty. It's almost like a meatloaf. And
Now, how long? Let me stop you real quick. How long does it take to make that burger, just the patty? Because I'm assuming you're making stuff fresh if you're putting all this stuff.
yeah, I make it fresh. But after you've been doing this for so long,
Yeah.
it's like riding a bicycle.
Okay.
So if somebody say, "Hey, I want a grandma burger," I instantly put the patty
Yeah.
inside a tray, dump my bell pepper, dump my onion, and then crack my egg.
Yeah.
Mix it all up.
Yeah.
Give it a good mix. Make the patty, pat it up, dump it on the grill. Let it cook for 15 minutes on each side.
Okay. 15 minutes on each side. Okay. All right. Now, see, Reggie, you making me kind of hungry right now because
I'm hungry now talking about it.
So these are two of the best burgers that you like on your truck.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the grandma burger, and I forgot the name of the first burger you talked about.
The first burger is the Merlin's Ultimate Burger.
The Maryland's Ultimate Burger. Maryland's Ultimate Burger. MUB.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me the MUB.
Yeah, the MUB. Yeah,
Give me the MUB.
Yeah, that's a good acronym. Yes, absolutely.
MUB. Okay. Oh man. See. I wish you would have just brought that MUB.
I had to pay you for marketing, man. That's a good one. Yeah.
Hey, just slide me. Hey, you could just slide me the burger. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We can call it the truth.
You got that. That's an easy call. You got that.
I ain't. I'm nice and easy. I'm just trying to help you out. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Help a brother out when I'm hungry. Be like, hey, what you got, Reggie? Give me the MUB.
And then if you talk, so we're in California,
okay,
and we have taco trucks all around. If you like
all
tacos,
around the place, yeah,
we make a mean taco as well.
Okay, what's
good homemade tacos? Turkey,
I'm intrigued.
Turkey, chicken, ground beef,
okay,
you name it.
Okay,
we have a mean pastrami.
Oh,
and we stuff that thing to the max. Good serving.
Man, where is this truck at right now?
If you guys would have told me, we could have set something up and it could have came down, man.
Man, look,
I didn't know we could have broke bread together.
Hey, let me ask you: are you like the what's the name of the Korean barbecue? The Koji truck? Do you tweet where your locations are so we can follow you?
Absolutely,
man.
But more so,
yeah,
more so. So this is a game, and a lot of food truck owners that maybe are tuning into the podcast. The name of the game is to get those contracts, though.
Got you.
Instead of more so just pulling up and hustling, but it is a hustle.
It is.
It's good to get the contracts. And a person, an organization that helped me, and it's so crazy that we're in the city of Compton now, is Compton College.
Okay.
Man,
talk about it.
I could do anything at Compton College.
Okay.
Any game, any basketball game, football game, track and field, baseball.
You can pull up.
I can pull up, and they don't charge me anything for the simple fact that I was able to build a relationship because at a time they were renovating their entire cafeteria.
Okay.
And the school is responsible for having some type of food there for the students and the faculty, something.
Sure.
And some days was slow, some days was, busy. And a lot of food trucks came, but they left. They'll be busy, and then it might be 2 days you won't be busy.
Yeah.
And they will leave. But me, just being humble, I weathered the storm. I would stay there. And me doing that, it just opened up a whole bunch of doors.
Right.
You know what I mean? So shout out to Compton College. I can do anything. They actually pay me up front. Sometimes they feed the students like for free.
Yeah.
And they would pay me like $5,000-$6,000 and tell me to feed the students like for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? And that's upfront money, you know what I mean? So I'm just being transparent in the business. I like the contracts. I do.
Yeah.
It's good to get your truck out there and hustle, and I'm gonna be here. But when you got that guaranteed money, when they're telling you, "Oh, pull up," or this business, or just like this church, telling me, pull up, you know what I mean, on this particular day, you want that.
Okay.
You want those catering jobs. That's that guaranteed money.
Got you. So then let me just be clear. So, a college is going to give you a couple of grand, right? Hey, just pull up. Mm-hmm. And then the folks who want the meals, let's say they want the MUB. They want the MUB or the grandma burger, right? Those kids are actually still paying for their meal, correct? Is that what you're saying?
So how we would do that, it's just a base. So you either get turkey or beef.
Okay.
And I put all the trimmings on the side because you got to think about it. You talk about free food, you feeding the masses.
Yeah.
So I don't even have a staff to say, oh, I don't want no relish on mine. I don't want no onions on mine. I don't want no mayo on mine.
Yeah.
So what we do is we give you the patty with the bun. It's still our product, juicy and good. But you actually put the condiments that you want on the burger yourself.
Got you.
So when I'm doing something like that, you can't get bacon, you can't get egg, no extras.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just
When they
a
pay you
basic menu.
When they pay you up front.
Yeah, when they pay me
Gotcha.
up front.
Okay.
Yes.
But if you just pull up, let's say on Sunday, you pull up here.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
It's
going down.
It's going.
Yeah, it's going down. Yeah, everything is. Yeah, it's going down for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, that's what's up. Be like, all right, that's cool. That means I'm gonna get a mub, and a grandma's burger, and
Oh,
we
you
gonna
gonna get a okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now, do you serve fries? Does fries go with
Absolutely.
the shake? Okay.
We serve homemade fries.
Okay, homemade fries.
Our fries still have the skin on them.
Okay.
Yeah, and we fry them to perfection. And I have a special seasoning I put on them.
Okay, special seasoning.
It gives you like a hint of salt, spice, and sweetness.
Okay. All right.
All in one.
All in one.
So it's like your taste buds, it's like a pow.
It's like a pow.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
that. Because you get a hint of all of it.
You get a hint of all of it. Man, I'm over here trying to get over here to my air horn. I'm trying to get over here to my air horn. So it's like one of these. Right here. There you go.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Like that, just like that.
All right, I had to turn it off because I was hearing hearing some feedback. Man, that's cool. Okay, so then you talked about the inspiration for the food truck. Now, and you talked about some of the burgers that are featured on the food truck. Now, I don't know if you answered this question. Well, when you start talking about food, my taste buds were just watering, and they still kind of watering. Okay. I might have to go give me an In-N-Out. It ain't that like a grandma's burger.
No, it ain't nothing like that. Yeah, but it'll do for right now.
It'll do. Okay, so is there in the works? Is there a plan for you to go brick and mortar instead of just having the food truck?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And actually, you did talk about that. You said you're gonna, you're gonna do that thing.
Yeah, for my 40th birthday.
Absolutely.
I'm going to launch a restaurant.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
And
I think it's time.
You think it's okay? So
Yeah, it's
do you
time.
have everything in place for it, or are you just kind of putting it out there in the atmosphere, and then you're gonna have to follow up?
I have about 70% in place.
Okay.
We got 30 more to go.
Okay. All right. Let's get that 30 more to go.
Because with expanding, you have to expand the menu.
Absolutely.
So I'm thinking about, doing some wings.
Okay.
Different flavor wings.
Okay.
Doing some milkshakes.
Ooh. Now this is in the brick and mortar
Yes.
spot.
I don't do that now, but in a restaurant, yeah, you got to expand. So
Now you could just keep it simple, just
you
like
absolutely could.
just like what's that, Raising Cane's? They
Yeah,
keep
Raising
it.
Cane's,
You got
In-N-Out Burger.
you got chicken fingers. You got French fries. You got toast, coleslaw, and ketchup, and
That's it.
hot sauce.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. All right, no, that's cool. Okay, so we can look for that, and you'll turn 40 in what month?
July 1st.
July 1st.
1st of July.
All right, so we're gonna be, I kind of befriended you on Instagram because when I come over here to Instagram, that's the sweetie right there. Let me go ahead and turn that down. Okay. So there we go. Okay.
You got to answer the sweetie. I didn't have my sweetie on live the whole time.
Let me see. So yeah, as we're finishing up right now, let me just go ahead and show this picture real quick. And man, tell us where this spot is going to be.
I don't know the exact address,
Okay.
but this is what I can tell you. It's where Florence meets Manchester.
Okay.
And where Florence meets Manchester, it's in the city of Inglewood.
Okay.
And right on the corner, there is a Jack in the Box. The shopping center that the restaurant will be in is right next door to that Jack in the Box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got a good spot for where this brick and mortar is going to be.
Absolutely. And it used to be the restaurant, because I used to eat there, that it used to be was Front Page Jamaican Grill.
Front Page Jamaican Grill.
Yeah, that's
okay.
what the name of the restaurant used to be.
Okay. All right.
And we used to patronize it because it's by the airport.
Yeah.
And I used to patronize it.
Got you. Okay. Well, I mean, I think we've covered a lot. I think we've covered a lot tonight, Reggie. You talked about just the fact that NCS was a wonderful inspiration for you as you kind of grew up. And then, you said the NCS experience for you was second to none. It got you through middle school, high school, and even college. So again, shout out to that. And then, you did your thing over there at Florida International. You played a little football, and then you received the calling to, being immersed in, being, a youth minister. Now, are you still currently working as a youth minister? Or
yes, I'm currently working as a youth minister. Currently, I actually had to do a funeral Thursday.
Oh, wow.
And I preach at this church called House of Prayer Baptist Church every third Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, so I branch out as well.
Okay. So, man, you're a busy young man.
Yeah.
You're a business owner. You're a man of the cloth. And you've been working for American Airlines for 18 years, man.
Yes, sir.
Man, you just, you trying to handle business and praise God for you and what you're doing. And, man, just, I think it was a wonderful time well spent tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me tonight.
Man, this has been great. We've kind of covered a little bit about your NCS experience. So this has been great, man. I think we went a little bit over time. And, my wife is I know she's like, okay, she's at home sick. And so I got to, get back home and take care of the wife. But yeah, man, no, this is time well spent. I appreciate you hopping in on the podcast, man. Let me ask you, do you have any last words that you would like to leave with the viewers, those who are going to watch the video on YouTube or on Facebook, or, just any last words from you, sir?
This is what I want to say, and it's going to be short and sweet. Keep God first, and you can accomplish anything.
You know what? Keep God first, and you can accomplish anything. That's short and simple, short, sweet, and simple, to the point. So, again, Reggie, we appreciate you hopping on, class of 1996, representing tonight. Just hang tight. I'm gonna close up the show, and then we'll, talk about a little bit after the show's over. So, thank you for hopping on. I really appreciate it, my man.
Thank you for having me once again.
Absolutely. Hey, guys. So, man, wonderful opportunity for Reginald Harris, class of 1996. Just really talked about and said it several times that NCS was a wonderful institution and had a great impact, a lasting impact on him as he matriculated through the rest of his school. And then also, even currently, what he's doing in real life. So just appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate him hopping on, and also El Presidente is hanging out over here. Just appreciate him being up here and being a part of the podcast and inviting Reginald to be a part of this podcast. So other than that, man, we look forward to going live later on in the month of March. I'm not too sure who is on schedule. I'm sure El Presidente will let me know, if not tomorrow, sometime this week. And so we just look forward to continuing this conversation or having these conversations with former NCS alumni or teachers or administrators as well. You're all welcome. Again, you can get in touch with Mr. Darren Hudson on this Facebook page, and just reach out to him and he'll get you scheduled. And I think we already have season 1 kind of booked out for the rest of the year. But who knows, year 2, if we choose to go that route, is still available. So other than that, I really appreciate you watching. If you happen to make it through the whole video, do me a favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. And, that way, if you hit that notification bell as well, you'll be notified, especially when we are on YouTube. You'll be notified when we go live. So other than that, on behalf of Reggie, Darren, I'm Mr. Riley, coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Thank you for watching. And I'll catch you in the next video of the NCS Best in the West podcast. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful night.
I would never say I'm self-made, I need a lot of help. Pray I never let the wealth change the way I see myself. I got love all around me, but sometimes I forget. Made a promise to my childhood self, we'll never quit.